Project, and I'm here right now with Rick Wartzman of the Drucker Institute. And Rick, hello.
Hi, great to be here.
Thank you. Tell us a little about the Institute and your involvement here.
Sure. The Drucker Institute, we're based at Claremont Graduate University, just east of Los Angeles, and it actually started as Peter Drucker's Archives. Peter, of course, the father of modern management and author of some 39 books on management and effectiveness and society and economy and innovation and how it all fits together. And we started as Peter's Archives, and then we emerged as a full-blown institute about 2 years ago, not to be backward-looking anymore, as an archive is, but to really look forward and to take Peter's teachings out into the world.
And what is your role here at the conference? I know you're doing some teaching tomorrow.
Right, I'm going to do a workshop tomorrow talking about what Peter Drucker called the 5 most important questions that any organization, including nonprofit organizations, can ask. So it's, what is our mission? Who is our customer? What is our customer value? What are our results? And what is our plan? Very simple, seemingly on their face, but very hard once you really dig into them and try to answer them well. And really are a great foundational step for any nonprofit or other organization to take as they build a strategic plan and begin to think through how they can be more effective. So I'm going to do a workshop on that tomorrow.
Wonderful. Powerful questions, again, if you really think about them.
Yes.
and apply them to an organization. I'm wondering, in your experience with working with nonprofits and maybe even organizations in general, which of those questions tend to be the most important and sometimes difficult to grapple with?
I think they're all important. There are only 5 of them,
right,
so
right.
They're all, you can count them on one hand, and they all fit together. You know, one really feeds the other. So mission obviously drives everything, but really understanding who your customer is, or more precisely, who your customers are. You have a primary customer, right, whoever maybe your nonprofit is trying to directly help, but you have secondary customers. You have volunteers, and you have employees, and you have board members, and you have funders, and they all need to be treated as customers, which is to say you really need to listen to what they value, you need to understand what they value, and you need to respond to that. I think one of the things that Peter taught us is that too many organizations, particularly nonprofit organizations, because they're doing good work, there's a higher purpose to it, that they can really convince themselves that that's enough, and it's really not enough. As he often, the quote he liked is that good intentions, don't move mountains, right? Bulldozers move mountains, and it's the effectiveness of the organization that's the ultimate bulldozer.
Wonderful. And your organization is also involved in a service component. If you could tell us about that.
Yeah, we are, and that makes us a little different. We just don't have to talk the talk. We do have to try at least walk the walk and really put into practice what Peter and other organizational experts teach us and have taught us. We run our own volunteer network all over the world. This is a group of what we call Drucker Societies, and they take programming that we've created at the Drucker Institute and then implement it in their own communities. So, for example, we actually have a workshop, largely the one that I'll be doing tomorrow, that our volunteers can go out and train nonprofit leaders and NGO leaders in their communities to be more effective. And it's fully scripted, and we give them the handouts, and they can go out and deliver this in their communities. So that's being done, for example, in Dallas, Texas, and in Germany. We have a program on innovation and entrepreneurship that we've designed that's being delivered, again, by our volunteers, this volunteer network we've created. And that was being done, for example, in Dubai, where a group that's a little bit locked out of society, women, would-be entrepreneurs, are being trained in innovation and entrepreneurship and Peter's principles, pioneering principles in that area. We have also a Drucker in High Schools program, which is actually being done by our Drucker Society in Los Angeles, being piloted now. And it's very exciting. It actually teaches high schoolers, 11th and 12th graders, the 5 questions. And it then has them try and take those and apply them to a community service project. So they design and implement their own community service project, learning a little bit of management along the way, some management skills.
Wow. I think it really presents an interesting model of service in that typically when you think of volunteerism, you think go to your local soup kitchen, go build a garden. But this is more of not academic way, but it's using more of a professional skill as a means to, serve people.
Right. I mean, this is a big trend you're seeing, obviously, in all kinds of corporations that are now doing skill-based volunteering, offering their employees who have certain skills on a pro bono basis. This is a similar sort of idea. We're taking largely people who are obviously interested in Peter Drucker's work. Many have a business background or some sort of management background, so they come to our volunteer network with a passion for Peter Drucker's teachings, knowing how valuable it is, and then we give them, we hope, the tools to go out and use Peter's teachings to bring about positive change in communities all over the world.
And it's great practice for them because they want to continue to absorb those principles themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And what's been your experience with the volunteer program in terms of the impact that it's had on the people that have participated?
We're only 2 years old as an institute, and the Drucker Society Network, I'd say the first year we learned a lot of lessons, which is we kind of foundered around and didn't get very far. We signed up a lot of Drucker societies, but it took a while to figure out what they would actually do. So the last year has been about creating these programs that we've done internally and then engaging our volunteers to implement them in the community. So things are really now just getting underway, and if I can do a shameless plug, you can find out more about this whole network on our website at druckerinstitute.com, and there's a Creating Global Change button that you can hit, and it'll tell you all about the Drucker Society Network. We now have a full-time actual manager of this program internally, and so things are really beginning to take off. We've hit a nice inflection point.
Wonderful. And this is your first year at the conference.
It is, yes.
And you said that you're involved in some of the planning stages.
Yeah, I was. I was fortunate enough, Karen Baker, the Secretary of Service and Volunteering for California, who I've gotten to know a little bit, asked me to help design some of the, with a team, design some of the nonprofit track for the conference. So we did some of the initial planning on that.
And what do you think, just from a management perspective, as we hear this national call to service, and this big theme of creating a movement that is, unlike any other that we've seen, at least in our lifetimes, what do you think is going to need to happen on the management level with these nonprofit organizations to really make this a reality?
Well, they're going to need to manage all this well. This is, as you say, this is an incredible opportunity. Michelle Obama said it yesterday, right? And in her keynote address at the opening, which is that volunteering and service has become cool. And it has become cool. There's a profound cultural shift, and you see it across the generations now. It's incredibly exciting, but it's going to be a largely squandered opportunity if nonprofits don't manage this precious resource of volunteer time and talent well and effectively. I was at a workshop today, hearing about the amount of turnover that there is among volunteers, and a third of those who will volunteer this year in an organization won't do any volunteering at all next year.
Wow.
And it's not even so much that they've had a terrible experience, but all too often, according to the research that was presented, they just have kind of a bland experience, that the organization is not really connecting with their passion. And this is what people are looking for. It's what people have, I think, given up to some degree looking for in their day jobs, and they're coming to the social sector to find that sense of fulfillment, to find that passion, and to have it meet their passion. And so that's got to be done in a way that the nonprofits deliver that in a well-managed way. If that doesn't happen, again, it's going to be an opportunity squandered.
Very good point. How do you think they can go about doing that?
It's learning. It's the hard work of asking those 5 questions or using other tools like it. It's coming to conferences like this. I have a huge amount of respect and admiration for the nonprofit leaders who come out to things like this. It's about lifelong learning and making yourself more informed and better. And it's just, at the end of the day, it's hard work. It's really hard work. But those are the steps that have to be taken, or again, it's just going to be a waste.